Earl Sweatshirt is back just under a year after some rap songs. It's been about 11 months since that dropped. It dropped at the end of November, became easily his most beloved album to date. It's easily my favourite album to date anyway from him. I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside was very good, but I think in hindsight it's an album that we see as laying the groundwork, kind of the building blocks for what was to come 3 years later on some rap songs. Of course there was that Solace EP too, but I am just talking his albums in general here. I think some rap songs was just an accumulation of all Earl's great ideas thus far, just laid into a fantastic album that was produced extremely well. The lyrics were by far his most vivid and detailed to date. It was just a really, really emotionally impactful album, while also just being incredibly interesting to listen to and very short, so it's pretty replayable as well. It did cause a big debate amongst the mixing people in the hip hop world. Some people calling it really poorly mixed, some people saying it was mixed perfectly. Mixing had never been a conversation amongst music nerds apparently since the end of 2018, and still goes on today, I see all the time. But I think for what it was going for, it was mixed exactly how it needed to be, so I don't really have anything to say other than that. And Feet of Clay is the EP following on from some rap songs, pretty closely to some rap songs too. I do feel like these tracks, quite a few of these tracks anyway, do feel just like leftovers from the Some Rap Songs album, to be honest. There are some aspects that do feel like a progression, which I will get onto, but then there are other aspects of this EP that really do feel quite familiar and just decent versions of what we got on the album last year, to be honest. You've got tracks like 74 and OD that really feel like they'd fit snugly into some rap songs. You've got that same lo-fi production, Earl's complex rhyme schemes, especially on the intro track too. Some of his most interesting rhyming, I think, on the whole project comes on this track. You've got OD, which references the noose with the gold chain, which he mentions on some rap songs too. So you can see that mentality that Earl was in back then is pretty much carrying on a year later here. And once again, we do get some amazing lyrical moments that come out of this album too. Some really, really like stark imagery that he paints, just speaking on his father once again and his general mental health state. I do think the closing lyrics that end off MTOMB are fantastic too, with the line, mummy water, shorty blew the fish out, Piscean just like my father, still got the bones to pick out. For now, let's salt the rims and pour a drink out and sip. The reference to fish and being a Pisces just like his father, that's really clever, man. I did find that line really, really like top quality from Earl. I really like how he references like the memories of his father on the track Cookies too, where he's saying how some of them are long gone and some of them are just completely lost. I like that idea as well, because like when you do think back to like even like your childhood and you've got like really like strong memories of certain things that you did or certain days, but then other ones just got completely lost in the pile of all the millions of memories that you've stored in your brain, and like your siblings will be like, oh, do you remember this? And you're just like, no, I don't remember that. When was that? I think the instrumental that Earl is rapping over just kind of like makes the song sound really hazy and dreamlike, and it just kind of matches that idea of like your memories just kind of being all a bit one big blur and stuff like that. I will say that like the first half of that track with the tisk tisk thing, it's like a little refrain that he repeats a few times, isn't particularly very good. I would have just preferred like a verse to replace that bit, to be honest. And I guess while I'm on the negatives, I may as well bring up some of the other things that I wasn't particularly feeling about this EP, because I've been fairly positive so far with some of the lyrics and stuff, but I do think some of the tracks don't sound particularly very good. I may as well get the obvious out the way. I think East, I don't know about East. I'm conflicted. Each time I listen to it, I have a different opinion on it, on the song as a whole. Like, it sounds like some really fucked up carnival music, and it just just gets really annoying. I feel like if there was just some kind of switch or something, or if it wasn't like pounding me, it wouldn't be so bad, but it just does get really, really irritating to listen to. It's like the soundtrack that would be playing in the film Us, where the little girl is walking through the little like carnival thing and then she walks into that room. Like, I feel like it would have been the perfect thing to play at that point. But other than that, I don't really find much to enjoy from this track. I only enjoy it when I think of it in like a horror setting. But then when I'm actually listening to it just in my own time, I'm just like not really enjoying how it sounds, because it sounds kind of messed up. I will say that it's cool that he tried this, so I commend him for rapping over something like this. There aren't many rappers around that would do something like this at all. Kind of reminds me of like Danny Brown and Atrocity Exhibition, where he just rapped over anything and made it work. But East, I'm not sure if it quite works. I don't know. The track El Toro Combo Meal has a great feature from Marvy. I think he steals the show on this track, to be honest. That first verse, he kills it. Honestly, he's rapping perfectly over the instrumental, which I think actually has the best instrumental on the whole EP, to be honest. The soulful instrumental, like the piano that's playing too, just sounds really, really crisp. I think it's such a fantastic instrumental for Marvy and Earl. However, when Earl comes in on the second verse, there's something going on with his voice that just sounds really weird to me. To me, it just sounds like he interrupts the flow of what Marvy was setting up for the first half of the song. It's kind of a shame. I don't know what's going on, but I just can't really get with how he sounds in comparison to the instrumental there. But he does come out with a fantastic line once again with the "I keep the tears out of my mind reach. I put my fears in a box like a prayer that you won't read." Dude, that's just that's really that's top quality again from him. The idea that he just won't dare process his feelings and his fears, he just puts them all away and never look at them again. I think that's pretty relatable for a lot of people, honestly. Some people just don't manage to confront their feelings and emotions, and I think he really, really sells it with that line. Just a shame he sounds kind of weird on that track. I don't know, it doesn't work for me. And then 4N with mach-hommy just sounds like what I feel people who hate some rap songs are hearing, because I just think this instrumental is really, really poorly mixed. Like, I don't know, I just think the way Earl is rapping, just he sounds like he's completely muffled. He's just like covering his mouth and then like rapping. mach-hommy is really underwhelming as well. I'm not the biggest mach-hommy fan anyway, but I don't know, I just feel like the intro of that track just goes on way too long, and then Mac's verse is really underwhelming. I just don't know what's the appeal to this one. I struggle to see why these two keep collaborating the way they do, because I don't know if they completely match in the ways that they're hoping to. So yeah, it's tracks like this that make me struggle to see what Earl is going for in the context of what he was doing on his last project, because this does sound worse than what he's done in the past. And I don't know, it's just kind of making me wonder where the next steps are for him in the future. Because the EP overall is solid, by the way. I'm not saying I don't like it. I think it's decent, but it just has a few moments that are a bit confusing to me. Whether it be through like the recording quality or Earl's vocals matching the beats and stuff that I have already mentioned. His rapping is still very strong though. I mean, I can't take that away from him at all. So many great lyrical moments on here again. I just wonder, could it eventually get played out if he kind of keeps going in this style? I don't know, maybe we'll see what's next for him, but for what we got here, Feet of Clay, it's okay, it's decent. Not EP of the year quality for me, but I'm definitely interested in seeing what other people think of this EP here. You probably like it more than I do, but let me know anyway. Hopefully you got something out of my review. Thank you for watching. Do have a good day. Subscribe already if you haven't. Let me know what I should be reviewing next. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.